If I get to the end, who knows what lurks inside the tunnel. Whether you like it or whether you don't, it's pretty ingenious how they managed to do it. I'd have thought it'd be quite dangerous actually. But I'll do my best to get something out on Christmas Eve. Something short, maybe a little different, which I hope you'll be able to watch. Once again, I'm at Birmingham New Street. There's Ozzy the Bull, suitably decorated for Christmas. And I'm looking now for my next train, which is going to take me up to Tipton. Okay, so there we are, Wolverhampton, 6 miles. That's my destination today. I'm going to walk up the canal now, as far as Wolverhampton. So this is Tipton. It's a very large gas pipe going across the canal here. About 6 miles to Wolverhampton. Not quite sure what's... I think that might be a small boat that's sunk. Oh dear. So about 6 miles, and I think we've got a few locks coming up almost straight away. So that's something to look forward to. This is the bottom lock of a flight of 3 locks. And I think altogether they raise the level of the water 20 feet. It's an interesting design. Quite a big pound over there to store additional water. Lots of squirrels around. I can see 2 there. I passed 3 of them just now. This is lock number 2, and you can see how it's the beam here has been reinforced with these steel shoulders, pending replacement, I suppose. Here's the top lock of the 3 locks. Another large pound of water just behind this one. As usual, I've got my Nicholson guide, and I am now at Tipton Green, just going past the 3rd of the locks. There's a bridge ahead. This is the way I'm going, but there's another branch goes off in that direction, and eventually that leads to, or quite shortly, leads to Coseley Tunnel, which is 3,154 yards long, so quite a long one. So I did give very serious thought to bring in the Brompton this time, because the towpath has been pretty good on this canal, although in part 1, when I took a detour, of course I came a bit unstuck in those muddy sections. But it is only a walk of 6 miles, so I'm not really sure that it would have been worth the bother getting the bike out for just 6 miles. But don't worry, I will be getting it out again very soon. When you get a pipe crossing the canal like this, it's referred to as a pipe bridge. That's unoriginal, but there you go. They certainly take enough steps to try and stop people from shimmying across, don't they? Nice big bend here. As usual, the canal's very close to the railway, very close. It's just over by there. Here we go, Wolverhampton 4.5 via the tunnel. So I don't know, maybe I can actually walk through the tunnel. That'll be great if I can. They're certainly going at quite a speed, aren't they? I suppose having the flow of water in the same direction is a bit like having a tailwind when you're riding a bike. It's a high bridge, isn't it? So this, I think, is Walbrook Bridge. So we're not far from the tunnel now. This one is South Coseley Bridge, or Coseley, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. If anybody knows, drop a message in the comments for me. Now I think the tunnel is pretty much going to be just around the next bend. Yeah, here we are. Looks like that sign is obscured there completely. So you're supposed to come along in your boat and read that sign. God knows what it says. You know, it might say you can only go through on the half hour or something like that. That's sometimes the rule with tunnels. Here's another one, similarly obscured. Before you know it, you're in the tunnel. Looks like there are towpaths on either side, so that's nice. I wouldn't fancy walking all the way up there. I wouldn't fancy that at all. I can see the other side, so it's a straight one. And pretty wide too. I imagine you'd get two boats through here. It's going to be a bit dark when I get inside. So I think I might start filming again when I get to the end. If I get to the end, who knows what lurks inside the tunnel. Just use your imagination a moment. I think it's leaking quite a bit. I can see water dropping. Well, here goes. See you at the other end. Not enjoying this very much. It's actually very, very difficult walking because the path in here is quite bumpy. Yeah, it's not at all flat. It actually feels muddy underfoot. But it's definitely bumpy. You could easily trip up. There is a handrail to my left, but I can hardly see it now. I don't know if the camera is going to pick it out, but just look at all those drips coming from the roof. You get a soaking driving your boat through this. I have to say though, it's a very wide tunnel, lots and lots of room. It's great having a towpath on both sides, even if it is quite full of cobbles. What about that for a leaking roof? Oh dear, dear, dear. That's going to take some fixing, isn't it? Anyway, I've made it to the other end. I'm very glad I am too. Just when I thought I'd escaped the mud, here we go again. I don't think it's going to last for long, but very glad now I didn't bring the Brompton. This is Deepfields Footbridge. Got a long straight ahead of me now. You know how much I like those. Oh, there's a big pipe bridge. I was just speaking to a couple with walking their dogs, and apparently yes, it is pronounced Coseley. So I'm going through Coseley at the moment. Wolverhampton, 4 miles. So a nice wide winding hole here for turning your boat. Oh, I hate these things when you've got your bike. They're a real pain in the backside. There's that nasty cobble surface again. It's really, really not nice on a Brompton. I guess it would be okay on a conventional bike, but very uncomfortable on a Brompton. And oh, that's odd. Apparently it's still 4 miles to Wolverhampton. That's something of a disappointment. I thought I was going to say 3.5. I better walk faster, I suppose. So there's another branch or a different canal, I'm not sure, coming from that direction. I'll see if I can find out which one it is and put it on the screen for you. Another sign, and that says 4 miles to Wolverhampton. Four miles. Something's not right here. It's got to be less than that, surely. This then is Highfields Road Bridge. I'm not quite sure what the road is above us. Again, if I can find out, I'll put it on the screen for you. Some interesting graffiti again. This is the Black Country route, apparently. Whether you like it or whether you don't, it's pretty ingenious how they managed to do it. I would have thought it'd be quite dangerous, actually, getting up there to paint those. I know I've said it before, but I'm really struck by how lovely and wide this canal is for much of the way. I'm really looking forward to bringing Gladys and Narrowboat down here, or up here, whichever way. Down, I suppose, down towards Worcester perhaps. Yeah. It's hard to imagine there's 25,000 volts of electricity up there, isn't it? Amazing. Oh, that's a bit more encouraging. City Centre 3, Birmingham 11, Coseley 1.25. And this is 10 Score Bridge. That looks like something you want to avoid with your boat. Big lump of wood, I think. Ducks everywhere. Look at these willow trees in there. Got their winter clothes on. They're still very pretty though. So here's another railway bridge. That was good timing. I think that was an Avanti West Coast. Looks like Mummy and Daddy swans and their growing up children. City Centre 2.5. But don't ask me what this sculpture is supposed to be about. And more ducks coming down to see me. They're all going the same way. Perhaps they've got a meeting or something to go to. So I just stopped to change the battery in the GoPro. They don't seem to last very long. Maybe about half an hour of actual filming and it's almost down to 10%. But I carry several spare ones. So yeah, it's been a nice walk so far. I really like this canal. It's only a couple of miles now up to Wolverhampton, which is that way, and I think I'll stop when I get there. The canal does continue about another 2, maybe 3 miles, I think, and then it joins the Staffs and Worcestershire Canal. And before it gets there, it goes through about 20 locks or 21 locks. Look at these fellas coming to see me. I'm afraid they're disappointed. I've got nothing for you. Lovely. This is Millfields Bridge, just where my farm is, and I'm going to be turning sharp left, and I think it's about 2 miles then, according to the mile markers on the map, so not too far. I think this area is called Millfields. So these houses have a nice view of the canal. In the summer it must be very pleasant seeing boats going by, but on the other hand they've also got that right in front of them. So it really is cold today. I wasn't expecting it to be quite so cold. I've got to wear this hat when I'm walking, and as you can see I'm well wrapped up. So it would have been far from pleasant on the bike today for me. I've always felt the cold when riding the bike, any bike, and certainly I'd have been cold today. The other thing about using the bike is you sometimes miss seeing things. You don't spot quite so much because you're just concentrating on keeping upright basically. I do enjoy a good walk, which is just as well in the circumstances. Again, lots of nice houses being built next to the canal, but I'm afraid, I mean, that's not a very pretty outlook, is it? I don't think so anyway. Look at this lot here. I wonder what the attraction is. I wonder if these Canada Geese will jump in, or if they'll let me walk past. Soon find out. I'll go as quietly as I can. Oh, what about that? I could swear some of those were stood on one leg. There's scrapyard here on the other side. Lots and lots of dead cars. That's quite sad. It's very sad. Look at that one up there. They've left it on top of a container for some reason. That was once somebody's pride and joy, I expect. City centre 1.5 now. God, I don't know. I don't seem to be making very fast progress. This is a road bridge called Dixon Street Bridge. I presume that the road is called Dixon Street, although I suppose possibly it's named after somebody called Dixon Street. Ooh, look at that, City Centre 1. Birmingham 13. Yeah, that's about right. I think it's 14 miles between the two cities. There's a sad sight. That boat looks like it might be resting on the bottom of the canal at the back. I hope it is resting on the bottom, because otherwise it'll continue to fill with water and sink even more. That's very sad. This is Bilston Road Bridge, and it looks a bit like they may have trams that go along here as well. Perhaps I'll be lucky enough to see one. So I just walked past a couple of rather rough looking chaps who were hanging around underneath that bridge. I don't know what they were smoking, but it's had a bit of an effect on me. Must admit, I was slightly anxious, but they didn't bother me, as it turned out, so I'm happy about that. Coming in towards Wolverhampton, I think now. Lots and lots of industry around. Electricity substation here. I think these two overhead bridges carry live cables. Plenty of signs about the danger of electric shock. City centre 3/4 of a mile. And this is Walsall Street Bridge. Look at all those rivets. All the work that went into making this. You know, it's getting colder, I think. My right hand is holding the camera, the GoPro, and my left hand's holding the book, and they're absolutely frozen. Now I could put gloves on, but I can't operate the camera then, so I'll just have to put up with it, I think. But it is noticeably colder than when I started earlier on. This is Horsley Fields Bridge, just where my finger is, and we're coming up to a junction with the, I think it's the Worley and Essendon Canal, which will be going off to the right. Yeah, so that down below is the Worley and Essendon Canal, bridge number 99. So my plan is, after I've had a little look around Wolverhampton, is to make my way to the station and catch the train back down to Birmingham. And then catch another train from Birmingham New Street back down to Ledbury. I don't think I'll have any difficulty finding the station, because I can hear trains all the time. Lots of Canalside apartments. I expect they come with a pretty tidy price tag as well. This is nice, isn't it? Look at this. This is Wolverhampton Tunnel. So we've come to Wolverhampton. There's a CRT sign over there that boat facilities are available. Just after this bridge, I expect. Yeah, you can moor here for a day on either side, and then there, dead ahead, here's the first of the Wolverhampton locks. 20 of them. I'll just walk up and have a look. Well, they don't seem too bothered by me. Excuse me, madam. Thank you. A couple of swans as well. So here's lock number 1 of 21. Altogether, the 21 locks lower the water 132 feet. Little's Lane Bridge. So I think next time I come to the Birmingham mainland canal, what I'll do is I'll just come straight to Wolverhampton. I'll start here at Wolverhampton top lock, and I'll walk the couple of miles or so to the last one, at Aldersley Junction. So that's it from Wolverhampton. Hope you've enjoyed this walk from Tipton, and that's the whole length now of the Birmingham mainland canal up as far as Wolverhampton, and just a few miles left up to Aldersley Junction, which I'll do next time. Hope you enjoyed this walk. If you did, please give it a like, leave some comments, and as usual, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do think of doing so. And if you have subscribed, thanks ever so much. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch you up next time. Of course, next Monday is Christmas Day, so I'm not going to publish anything on Christmas Day because you've got much better things to do. But I'll do my best to get something out on Christmas Eve. Something short, maybe a little different, which I hope you'll be able to watch. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Bye.